right, good morning. Bruce here. Let me get you fixed up with the right screen. So we're looking at CONY. Whoops, no we're not. Come on, Bruce, you can do better than that. All right, here we go. We're looking at CONY. I'm going to do CONY and then Misty. Whenever I do them together, that's my normal order. So let me drink a little water here. All right. So what happened on 5/13? Well, CONY went down a little bit, and they put some trades on, and so did the underlying. So coin went from 20.92 down to 1951, so less than 1%. And we went down 5 pennies, 2068 to 2063. So we went down about a third, right? Only 1/3 of what they went down. I have it in a spreadsheet, but I'm not going to show it over here. I'll just tell you, and because I got up on the screen, the Misty one. Both had trades today. Both had people buying the shares. Misty's moving in the right direction, and CONY seems stuck down here in the 20s with. So there was significant share count. CONY went from 20,825,000 to 21,475,000, right? So they added 650,000 shares. We'll see that on the percentage when we go to our holdings. But the two trades, that's why there's two rows here. So they bought a 210, 525 contracts on a 210 strike. They received $2.48, so that generated 130,000. And then they sold 500 contracts, received 306.85, and I wish they hadn't gone so close because that's $8 away. That's only 4% out. But hey, the way CONY has to wake up, right? If CONY doesn't know it and coin doesn't know it, come on, coin, wake up. All right. So they collected this 283,000, right? So that puts us up to 13,758,000 collected in premiums. We're doing really good at collecting the premiums, but a declining stock, that will happen for. That just means you're getting killed on the synthetic if you just keep declining, and that's the case with CONY. Okay, so let's go look at the synthetic. I mean, I cannot believe they haven't rolled it. Now, the only thing you can say is that they get paid money, right? So, but you're just giving it back later, right? So they buy a call for 4 cents, right? So remember I showed you 525 contracts at 210 and 500 contracts at 207.5, so there were 1,025, and that's that matching. You know, buy a call, sell a put, and then do the same number of weekly contracts at your choice of a strike price. So that's what they did. So it contributed. Look at this. So buying was 4,100, selling is 6,128. But what does that do? That just puts all of that money over here, right? So you're just moving it from one accounting box to another. We collect this money right now. We will owe this money by this Friday, right? So we have to spend it on Friday, but in the meantime, we can collect it. So I point that out in our accounting so it looks like we're going to get a great payday, right? But, I mean, I still think it's going to pay over $1, but it's ugly. Misty went through one of those, and it's moving okay. So anyway, now our made profits is, since this is a running scenario all the way from April through the end of May, we credited, even though these are negative numbers, we made almost 17 million, and we're up to 13 million. That's where you get your 30 million. Most of it and all of it comes from, you know, buying a call, selling a put. We're getting huge amounts, but look how far underwater we are. Coin's at 200, And actually that I think needs to be 199. No, it's, yeah, it does. I need to go to 17 on that. Not a big deal. It's down so small, but I'd rather it be accurate, right? And when I put those double rows in, sometimes it doesn't quite get there. So 16 should get there. Yeah, 16 get. So we're 23% underneath the strike, right? So when they roll, I think they're going to roll to a 225, 230 or something, and it'll be out to 719. Those are the roll dates for these type of funds. All right. So let's go look at our weekly. So I showed you that we wrote two more, these right here, right? This was written on Friday, this was written today, right, on Monday. So you have two, and they're not that far out, but until coin wakes up, we're not in danger. So last week we collected like 6.7 million. This week, I added them all up, we've got 7 million to win this week. Technically, we've already been paid that, right? What's our capture rate? Well, we've captured 1.9 of the 7.059. We've captured 27.72. So we're doing well already, and let's assume we capture it all. Well, we still get hurt on the synthetic. So I'll go into that for you guys. I updated the wedge, right? So we're cruising along here in the wedge. You know, we've come down and almost touched lows. Let me show you on this map. Whoops, I've got Ulti up. I bought a little Ulti in the market for those of you that this morning in the pre-market, I got a pretty good price. I'm just trying it. I don't know if I'm a real believer in it, but I think the market could bounce here for a few weeks. I'll get the dividend, have it go back up, and I'll probably get out of it. I don't see it as a long-term hold, but they do get some high volatile stocks that they can make some money on. So let me show you what I was going to show you on coin. I think this is useful when we can see it. Maybe 20 days to go back and see this. So it's 9 Eastern as I'm recording this, so it's 30 minutes from market open. BTC is down a little bit, but it's still in 62,000, so it's okay. Okay, there's the chart I was looking for. All right. So this is showing, each one of these black areas is the daytime trading hours, each black. So you go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this is aftermarket, right? So you go back 9, this is our earnings day, right? So after the market, right, the black line is the regular daytime trading hours, and the gray is after hours. Then you go past the dotted line or dashed line, which is midnight. So this is Thinkorswim, and I was with Ameritrade, and I was one of the final batches here to get moved to Schwab. So this is now a Schwab account. But Thinkorswim looks the same. So, you know, we're right back. We bounced off that low really well, and we're really setting at major, like if I extended out, this is major resistance in this, you know, 195, 199 time frame or trading range. So I feel pretty comfortable. I'm just, like a lot of you, probably frustrated that it's not really coming out of this malaise, because Misty's not behaving that way, and Bitcoin was up pretty well. Let me look at what that's doing. Yeah, 61,775, so it's down 1705. It was 63 something. It's almost back to 62. So that's still in the trading range as well. So we'll see if we get moving here. Let me get into the key stuff. So let's go to holdings. We looked at what happened on the synthetic and what happened on the other. So in the holdings, right, we added, well, that says 450. That's not correct. So we actually added 650. All right, so we were up like 3%, right? And that should have a higher number inside it here, but we were up close to 3%. So what look at this synthetic though, guys. It was on the other synthetic as well when I showed the 260, but sometime here it is here, right? I was trying to show you we're collecting this money, but this is a loss that's not going to go away. So when we go here to holdings, these are our weeklies, right? So there's our 7,059,000. This is how much is left to capture, right? That's all this money here, the remaining. And so I calculate the percentage and then I link it over there to my weeklies. So we've captured 27.72. So we're doing awesome on the weeklies. And that'll get us paid, but we want to win on the synthetics too. And we will once we roll or once we start moving up. So here's our continual going down. 135 million is a lot of money to be down in this scenario. And there's really no way out with 4 trading days. So that's what you got. We're doing good on the weeklies. It's easy for you guys to see this stuff. I get a lot of positive comments on. It's really worthwhile to do that. I want you guys to learn. I want you to learn how. For those of you that don't really want to learn and just go to the end, that's okay too. But those that want to learn, that's what I do. Okay, so we've got a pending $135 million loss on our synthetic, right? So where is it today? Well, it's setting at a $13 million gain. I know it's negative, but it's not. That's how we show a gain. Okay. We've also got a $13 million short call income. Once we get those and we collect them, that's not a problem. Now, if we were to run up really high, we could lose this week's money and have to take it out, but we would reduce that 135, probably by 40 million. So, I don't think that's happening at this point. So here we are, right? They're going to roll that over, roll it into a 719. So we've got 64 cents that we've collected on the 21,475,000. Let me make sure that picked up the right number. Yes, it did. Okay. And we've got another $1.25 over here, right? Or sorry, that's not how that works. Total income is 26 million. When you divide it by this, you get $1.25. Okay, and of that $1.25, a little more than half is in, and they almost always pay this unless this is a massive loss. Well, it will be a massive loss, right? But I got surprised on Misty, and they paid all of this and a little bit on that. So I'm not worried about CONY not paying $1, right? It might only be $1, right? Look up here, we paid $1.07, and then there were a couple months before in history. I've only owned and been tracking this really since January. So anyway, probably won't be $2, but there's also a lot of time left. So if you take that 135 million, we've got a 17 million carry forward, right? So that takes some, but that leaves a massive amount over here. But on 21 million shares, that's, you know, a $6 loss. So all of a sudden, instead of a $1 gain, you probably got a $5 loss over here, right? Well, we've been winning on the weeklies, so this one is already, but we'll write another one on Friday and collect another 6 or 7 million. And this will continue to grow, and we'll get our $1.50 or $1 or whatever we're going to get out of this thing. So all I can say is stay tuned, right? And all of these funds that sometimes go through this stuff, and it's in this case, so it's not so much the underlying, you know, I mean, I can get into speculation and what I read, but to me, everything's speculation. I think it moves. By the way, I'll show you a great chart. I don't know if I can get it quick enough where I saved it, but I promise tomorrow I'll show you. It's a fantastic predictive chart on BTC and just where it might run and fairly soon. So let me get to Misty, taking a lot of you guys' time here. And Misty's a happier story, that's for sure. So let's get into our May. So here we are. We were up, you like the word up there, 5.55% in Mr. with a 4.04, right? So 75%, right? 4/5 is 80, but this is more than 5. So I'm guessing 75% there. What did we add? I actually have that one here, but every once in a while I can do a teaching thing. So the way these work for new people, when they put a trade on, they use the synthetic. You know it's a synthetic because it's out to 719, and there's a call and there's a put, the C and the P, and they're both at 1300. So they buy 31 calls and pay 174 because they're trading below, right? We're at 1245 or so. We make more money on the put, and then we sell the 13 put. Well, that becomes a big loss if you don't climb up before 719 to the 1300 range, which I have little doubt for Misty here. And then we typically use that same number of contracts, and then we do what's known as a naked call or a weekly call. And that's the sell short. We sold at 1310 for 22. So enough with that. Let me go show you that in action here, right? So here is the 31. And we sold it at 22.2 for 1310, and we collected 68,000, right? So that goes right in the Misty piggy bank, right? Now on our shares here, we added 50,000 shares, right? But 50,000 is still a decent percentage on a smaller base, right? They sold 10 times that, 12 times that, but they also were 5 times bigger on CONY, right? So percentage-wise, we didn't do as much as CONY, even given our base. But it's a higher price. You know, people look at CONY's history, and it's been the most consistent. I mean, Misty only has 2 months, right? We paid $412 and $252. So I'm pretty confident we're in 3s this month. You know, unless something really shakes us up and we really drop down in Mr., but I don't see it. So we're at 30.14, so they went up 5.5, we went up 4, right? So we're back at 30. We put this trade on. Let's go look at the synthetic. And here's our synthetic. So again, since we're underneath, we make money when we put a synthetic on. Sometimes it costs us money, right? The ultimate money maker gets determined by where you end when you roll over or sell out, right? We're only 4% under, and we've got, you know, 5 trading weeks, 6 trading weeks to go. We've got a substantial, actually, that's 8 trading weeks. We're not even to 519, right? We're 514. Okay. So anyway, we've got a $4 loss, right, in the discrepancy between what it would cost to buy the puts and sell the calls, but that's minuscule in the scheme of things here. So let's go look at weeklies and then we'll look at holdings, right? So our May profits went up, right? We were, that's a loss, but we're reducing the loss, right? Because we're really bringing it back in these calls where these synthetics that we're selling. So let's take a look at our weeklies. This is where I sum up all the calls, right? And then this gets fed data, although I don't think I brought it over. It's still got the amount to win, but it doesn't have the capture percentage, but it does have it over on my holdings tab. So we added the 31 to match, right, on our May tab. So now that one's 5.14% out of the money. These are all updated. This implied volatility is pretty much sideways. So they both moved up. I didn't update this chart, but I did on CONY, so everything's still the same, and it looks like we're just going to move up from here. I don't think it goes back and goes all the way down to the low 11s. It's possible, but it doesn't look like it. So let's take a look at the holdings so we can see. So we only had a 1.2% move, right, on 50,000 shares on a 41.75 base, and it took us to 42.25. That's how that number works. So looking at these, let me make sure I've updated everything there for the Misty portion. So 943 is now 36, 20, 16, 4, yeah. So we've now captured 23% of these new guys, right, with 4 trading days to go. So what's at stake? It's 2.914 million. And you can see here that these first 2 we're losing on, but the next 2 we're winning on. This one might be a mistake. Yeah, this one's a mistake. We're winning on that one. I'll fix it later. So no, the market value is, oh, that's the, yeah, we wrote it 1280. Okay, yeah, that's part of the problem. We're a small percent, but we probably won't lose that one. Let me go show you on the weekly. So we got a 1280 out there. We're at 1245, but when you surge up 60 or 80 points, you know, from when you sold it, but the real idea is if we close at 1280 or below, we get all of that money. It's just that it's much closer. So the remaining value can move up. But again, it's book value. Everything gets determined on that Friday, but you can kind of understand your risk. You know, with 4 trading days, I wouldn't worry too much about this guy. But again, this is the bulk of the contracts. So at 1280, let's go back and see what we wrote that for, right? When we wrote that 1280, is that even still? Oh yeah, there it is. That was just on 510. We got $28. So we only give back the 2.7 all the way up to 1308. I mean, we lose it in the sense that they gave it to us and we're going to give it back. But we don't have to spend additional money, right? Because sometimes when you run way up, your synthetic makes a bunch of money and you lose your rear end in your safety net, these weekly calls. So that, you know, we could run to 1290 and not be too hurt by this guy, and it wouldn't affect any of our other stuff. So we'd probably collect like 80% of what we were gonna, you know, of the 2.9 million. All right, let's jump over and see what this looks like. So I got us doing really well, right? We added the share count in. That always brings us down. Our weeklies are doing well. We're averaging $1.34 on the weekly, and I had this yesterday. If it's just $1 a week, we're going to get to the $4 payout, right? We only have a 4 million hanging out, and that's not even going to impact the next declaration. You know, whether that's a paper win or a paper loss, you know, as long as we keep winning. We got 8 million that we've won, 5 million that we've won here. Oh, let me make sure I updated that. P12. Yep, it's all updated. I thought I did. Okay, so on our payments, we're still looking pretty good here, to be honest. And we dropped, okay, from having a 10 million loss because we surged up from in the 11s up to 1246 or whatever it was. We cut the 10 million paper loss on our synthetic to only a 4 million paper loss, right? So there's the 4 million because these values improved, right? As we move up, this shrinks, right? This 227 at 1300 becomes 0. And then this number would be bigger. So tomorrow, if we woke up and we were 1300, our weeklies would be losing some money, but this 23 million would be gone. And this number would be up to maybe 200. So all of a sudden, we'd go from a 4 million loss to about a 23 million gain. Now, it's paper, but so what? It's going to be real if you maintain it to roll. So that's how these things work, guys. I'm kind of done educating for tonight, but hopefully that helped. Misty's looking really good, and it seems to be responding to BTC, and overall is pretty well. Okay, I'll let you guys go. It's getting close to 11 minutes to trading time, market time, work time, wherever you're going today. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for fun and education. Okay, see ya. Bye.